Dracula's always been a really interesting character in MCoC for me, because he released about 6 months ago now, and as far as how he's impacted the game, he really hasn't, and I can't say I'm too surprised, because I didn't think this guy would go anywhere when I reviewed him the first time for my How Will They Affect MCoC video. He was the first one as I were able to do, and it was kind of disappointing because I didn't like the character, and quite frankly, I still don't, but I did kind of want to revisit him 6 months later and just talk about the things that he can do well, and maybe should you use him more, or is he really just deservedly not used at all? Because I think this guy has a lot of strengths. He really does. I mean, the passive slow that lasts for 40 seconds just coming from a special 1 is incredibly powerful. Passive fear, 60 seconds on the special 2, incredibly powerful. His regen's pretty good. His damage source is pretty good because, like, no one's really able to be immune to degen, or they're, like, some characters resistant to it, but, like, it's still a very reliable damage source, so it's still really strong. But, yeah, the problem is his damage output in general just is really bad, and I feel like that's a lot of where he falls off. That and the fact that he doesn't take a lot of metacosmics well. He takes Thanos very well, he can take Maestro, but he's just not good for Serpent and Dark Phoenix, which are the two that probably matter the most in the Cosmic Defense class. And that's definitely a big problem, along with the fact that his damage, again, is not very good. It's fine if you're fighting Cosmic champions. If you go outside the Cosmic class, it feels really rough. And my biggest complaint about his damage, actually, is not that it's terrible regularly, but it's the fact that you can't boost it, because your entire damage source is tied to this one degen that starts at the fight. And you can't increase that degen with like a fury you might gain from a node later on in the fight. You're just stuck with that degen at that exact same ticking number as the fight goes on. And so if you're using him for a node that gives you a fury, which a lot of nodes are going to do, especially in BGs now, you just don't get to benefit from it, from your degens. Like, of course, your basic attacks will and stuff, but that doesn't really matter as much, because the thing that he's trying to do is degen the opponent for damage. And we're going to start here against Medusa. We can show off, like, some cool things he does. Like, his Nullify is very strong. It's tied to special attacks, but being a nullified centered mystic in the big 2026 is not that good. And again, like, you can actually steal these Furies when you nullify them, but it doesn't boost your damage output. It doesn't boost that degen, so it feels really weird. Because, like, I don't know why you would really want that. Like, it's going to boost the bleeds you do, but they don't really tick that hard in general. It's going to boost the hit damage you do, but that's not really the point. You want that degen to do more damage. And 41 seconds, let's be real, it's not that bad. It really isn't, but it's not going to be that great after that. And we're going to go fight Deathless Thanos next. I do think Dracula is extremely good at fighting Deathless Thanos. Arguably the best Deathless Thanos counter in the game, and there aren't that many champs that are really going to do it faster than him, quite frankly, so leading off with 2 matchups, I'd say he actually looks pretty good with. So we'll go ahead and fight Thanos here, and we do some bleeds and stuff by nullifying his buffs, and then the protection comes in play. That's fine. Like, one special 1 is pretty much going to be enough damage to just push him into the next protection phase. A little bit less, as you can see here. He's still at 58 after that special 1, so we do need to tick some more of the dire degen before we go for another special attack. And now we trigger protection there, so we'll just go ahead and wait. And then bait another special. Keep nullifying all his buffs and stuff, which are going to give me bleeds for a little bit of additional damage, and furies for the actual hit damage. But again, it's just like, your damage that you're trying to do is the degen. You just can't make it any better. And that's kind of what I really hate about the character, because most characters, like, if they don't have any way to increase their own attack in their kit, their damage source that they're inflicting will be increased in some way. But Dracula's just doesn't. So, I don't know. It's just a really weird complaint, probably, that I have, but it does matter a lot, I think. So, now we're going to go fight Gentle, and we're going to move into matchups that are just outside of the Cosmic class, and this is when it feels really bad. Like, this is when your damage is just really terrible. And that's not, like, the worst thing for a lot of characters. Like, I don't think every character needs to punch very well outside of their class advantage class, but again, it's just not very good. And we're gonna go use the slow on the special 1, of course, and then we can push gentle to special 2, which is gonna give him a physical resist passive, and technically this shouldn't really matter that much, because again, our main damage source is degen, and that's not gonna be subject to the physical resist or anything. Of course, slows us down a little bit, but it doesn't really matter too much. So here, I'm going to go ahead and start a combo again, and then we'll go for the special 2, which is going to do even more damage with the dire degen, makes it tick faster, and even that just feels like so underwhelming. It feels like it barely does anything on that special 2, even though you're ticking your degen even more than normal. So here, we're going to go ahead and get another special 1 going, and then place that slow back. And he's just, again, slowly but surely taking down. And I don't know, man. I feel like if this guy's degen was like 25% stronger, he'd actually be pretty good. But unfortunately, he's not. And rebalance doesn't exist now, so I don't think he's going to get a damage update anytime soon. And yeah, that's gentle. 75 seconds, about as perfect as it could have gone. And it just still feels so slow. I know a lot of people probably wonder like why his damage is rated a 4 out of 5 on the website, and I'm assuming that's because of the fact that it's very uninteractable, meaning like the opponent really can't stop your damage because it's a big degen that comes at the start of the fight, and again, degen is basically the most uninteractable damage source in the entire game, so that's probably a big reason that he has that 4 out of 5, because while his damage isn't great, it's just very hard to stop, and I think that is why they gave him such a high rating, which I also think is kind of fair, because that is very valuable. I do think the damage source being this degen that's so interactable is a very valuable thing to have, but I also just wish it was stronger, and I feel like, again, part of the reason that he's not played that much is because it's not stronger. Even if he wasn't great for, like, Serpent and Dark Phoenix, I still think there's a lot of uses this guy could have in BGs and War. It's just, he's too slow for most of them. And I don't like saying characters are too slow to make, like, that's the reason they're not valuable and stuff, because I don't think it's always true, but I don't know, man, there's a lot of issues this guy has. But last up, I want to show him against Heimdall. We don't have Heimdall in the CCP test map yet, but I did want to show this fight because Heimdall is kind of the newest Cosmic Defender, and Dracula is kind of perfect for him. You just nullify all the buffs Heimdall gets. You place a slow when Heimdall is in his special 1 animation to stop the Unstoppable. And then we can get some really nice damage off of the heavy attack, increasing the dire degen rate. Can't do anything about him just randomly throwing a heavy in the air, but it's all good. Well, we can do a little bit, I guess, because we can regen some back, but the regen's whatever. It's not that great. Actually, 5% per special 1 really isn't bad, but if the fight ends too fast, which it is going to here because this isn't like a proper ranks matchup, because yeah, we don't have Heimdall on the map yet, so I just fought my 6-star rank 1 with him. But overall, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this guy is overhated and also just like deservedly not used at the same time, because he really does have some good utility pieces. He has a very good damage source. It's just, I wish that degen could somehow get its potency increased, and it can't be from Furies that you'll get in the middle of the fight, because it starts at the fight, unfortunately. You can't just increase the damage of something that starts at the start of the fight, which is my biggest complaint. But also, I don't think he's going to be getting a buff anytime soon, unless they shock me. This guy would be like a great, like almost perfect candidate for an Ascension, honestly, because then you would get extra attack rating, and the might bar and stuff is a vigor effect, so that would increase your degen, because vigor increases the damage you do by 1%. It's not an attack rating increase by 1%. So I think this guy would benefit a hell of a lot from Ascension, and I really hope that he gets that, because if he gets Ascension, honestly, maybe his biggest problems I have with him are fixed. We'll see. Honestly, I'm inclined to think no, because I do still think that he is rough for a lot of matchups in the Cosmic class, but he's just got a lot of good utility pieces, and against a lot of nodes that have a lot of buffs, which could go for a lot of Mystics, quite frankly, I do think he has potential. And Yeah, it's like 6 months later, I still kind of hate this guy. I still don't really want to rank him up on my account because I just don't feel like I'll be getting any value. But honestly, if he gets in the Ascension pool, I would be kind of tempted because I see a lot here for him. It's just there's some glaring flaws keeping him from going all the way up in my rank up list. So I know there's a lot of Dracula fans out there. I hope I did this video justice. Maybe I didn't. But I don't know. I feel like even some of the bigger Dracula fans that I know would agree with me with some of the stuff I'm saying here. I even assigned Dracula to a war fight once, and it was just for one fight, one mini boss, and my player decided, like, he asked me if he could use a different champ for that fight, and I was like, okay, I go out of my way to assign Dracula to war for once, and you're asking me to do something else. So if you're that player and you're hearing me say that, it's you've heard me say it before, but it is really funny. It is really funny to me that even some of the biggest Dracula fans, I could give them a war fight and they would rather use a different champ for. So that speaks words. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.